as good. And then he got away with it, but it destroyed his soul. And Dostoevsky's right about that. And one of the things I like about Dostoevsky as compared to Nietzsche, say, because I think Dostoevsky is the profounder of the two, is that in the Brothers Karamazov, for example, Ivan is the atheist, and Ivan is everything you'd want a man to be, like seriously. And Dostoevsky, man, he doesn't straw man his opponents. The most powerful characters in his books are always the opponents of what he himself believes. And Ivan is always arguing with Alyosha, who's his younger brother, who's a monastic novitiate and really can't articulate himself very well, has nowhere near the force or charisma of Ivan. But Alyosha wins the drama, even though he loses all the arguments. And that's where Dostoevsky is so great. It's like, and this is what you're doing in your life. You're acting out the logos, Susan. That's what you're doing. You're writing books to illuminate the world.
Yes.
You say, well, I don't believe in that.
From a place
yes,
of meaninglessness.
Don't you think it's kind of offensive to say to me that I'm not an atheist when I am? Why don't you answer me this question? Why do you think I don't go around murdering people? Why do you think I go around trying to be...
I don't know you well enough to know.
Yes, I could have done some...
I think often the reason that people don't do it is because they're too cowardly.
Oh, that could be a reason. It could be that I don't murder people. I'd really
No,
love
I'm not
to.
necessarily saying
No, it's a possible one.
It's
all
in
right,
fact
all right.
highly likely at some times in your life if you're a normal person.
We're needing to close things out, and I know it's we've had not long enough, but Jordan, just come back to this because I want to hear why ultimately, despite everything that Sue said there, you still think she's behaving as though there is, in some sense, a God or some ultimate meaning, even though she protests that no, that's
well, I would say she's acting it out. Well, for example, the act of writing a book. I mean, the Judeo-Christian culture is the culture of the book. It's the revelation of the proper mode of being in written form. It's not only that, but it's a large part of that. It's the culture of the book. You're acting out the culture of the book. It's thousands of years old. And the true voice in the culture of the book is the logos. That's what it is, technically speaking. And so she's acting out the logos and writing a book. It's like, and then she says, well, I don't believe in God. It's like, okay, that's fine.
The logos, of
acting
course,
like you do is fine.
In Scripture, in the New Testament, is brought into the Word, and it, of course, relates
the word
to
that brings order out of chaos.
And to Jesus Christ as the sort of personification almost of that.
Right. He's the archetypal manifestation of the logos.
I mean, these are all big words and things. I mean, a lot of people will be asking, what do you actually make of, in Christian terms, the figure of Jesus? Do you believe that he was in some sense divine? Was there, when you look at what the Bible tells us about Jesus?
Well, one thing you might ask yourself is, do you believe that each individual is divine in some sense? And I would say, well, perhaps not, but you act as though you do. And our law acts as if it does. It's predicated on that idea because the sovereignty of the individual is the divinity of the individual. There's no difference between those two things. And I can make an absolutely brutally clear case for the development of that idea historically.